Hello there, you're now with me, Radzi Ahmad, for TVS English News at 5. Let us begin with the top stories for today. Malaysia strongly condemns the burning of the Quran at a demonstration led by a Swedish far-right politician in Stockholm. The Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim said immediate action must be taken against the politician Rasmus Paludan to check what he called an alarming rise of Islamophobia in Sweden. Paludan, a Swedish-Danish politician from the far-right party Stramkurs, burned the holy book at a demonstration held in front of the Turkey's embassy in the Swedish capital on Saturday. Following the incident, the Turkish government summoned the Swedish ambassador to express its disappointment. The action also drew the condemnation of various Muslim-majority countries. Now, in a Twitter post, Anwar said such a blatant defilement of Islam's holy book by the Swedish politician and the inaction are tantamount to fomenting Islamophobia and constitutes a grave provocation to the sensitivities of not just Turkey, but more than 2 billion Muslims in the world. He said Malaysia denounces the repeated hate crimes facing Muslims worldwide and expresses its concerns about the rising tide of hate speech based on faith or ethnicity. Anwar also called upon the international community to reject race or religious baiting under the guise of freedom of expression and to remain united against all forms of incitement to hate and violence. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Zamri Abdul Kadir, in a statement, said Malaysia calls for the international community to resist Islamophobic sentiments and promote harmonious coexistence between individuals of different religions in the diverse global community. He added Malaysia will continue to work together with the international community to help prevent and eradicate any form of violence and hate towards Islam, including Islamophobic sentiments and extremism. Meanwhile, condemnations continue to pour in from across the Arab and Islamic world over the burning of the Quran by Swedish-Danish right-wing extremists in Stockholm, Sweden. In a statement, the Saudi Arabia Foreign Ministry affirmed the kingdom's firm position, calling for the importance of spreading the values of dialogue, tolerance, and coexistence, and rejecting hatred and extremism. Qatar also denounced in the strongest terms Sweden's permission to burn the Quran outside the Turkish embassy in Stockholm. At the same time, the Egyptian Foreign Ministry decried the Quran burning as a disgraceful act. Meanwhile, Morocco said it was shocked by the Swedish government granting permission to burn Islam's holy book. The Turkish Foreign Ministry condemned the burning of Islam's holy book in Stockholm as a vile attack. In response to Sweden's permission for the incident, Ankara cancelled Swedish Defense Minister Paul Johnson's upcoming visit to Turkey. Day 2 of the Chinese New Year celebration continues for Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Joritun Openg, who visits to several prominent leaders' open houses. Now, earlier this afternoon, he visited Batu Lintang Assemblyman Loh Ker Chiang's house at Jalan Stapok. He arrived at the residence around 1:20 p.m. together with Utility and Telecommunications Minister Dato' Julaihi Narawi and Deputy Minister in the Premier's Department, Law, State Federal Relations and Project Monitoring, Dato' Sharifah Hasidah Said Aman Ghazali. He spent about half an hour there before visiting Kuching South City Council MBKS Mayor Dato' Wee Hong Seng's house at 2:20 p.m. at Jalan Suachai Siap. Now, he and his entourage then went to the Chinese New Year open house event of Deputy Premier Dato' Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian at Jalan Wan Abdul Rahman at 3 p.m. Now, Sabah is now on the right track, with the state government having done its best to make the Sabah Maju Jaya Development Plan a success in advancing the state, said Sabah Chief Minister Dato' Sri Haji G. Noor today. Therefore, he hoped that the state government and the people in Sabah would continue to unite and focus on fulfilling the state's development agenda. Now, on the line, we have Amirul Mukminin live from Sabah with more. Go ahead, Amirul.
Thank you, Razi. Today we live across from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Regarding the matter, Sabah is on the right track for development. That Hajiji said today, it is important that Sabahan function as a united team by sharing common aspiration that they have already built on trust and mutual respect. Let us unite to ensure that this administration by the Sabah government runs smoothly. He also said, if the people and the government continue to unite to focus on fulfilling the state development agenda, Sabah will continue to increase its revenue collection and investment, which exceeded 6.6 billion ringgit and 3.4 billion respectively last year. Now, regarding this Chinese New Year, which is designed as the year of the rabbit, he said that rabbit in the Chinese zodiac is associated with peace, prosperity, and longevity. That may this year of the rabbit take us forward, and the Sabahan people will live in peace and be able to deal with various challenges, especially to bring Sabah forward in Malaysia. However, he thanked the Chinese community for their support and cooperation in helping the Sabah development and improve the well-being of the people by supporting Sabah Maju Jaya. Get back to you, Hazi. Thank you.
Thank you for the report. That was Amirul reporting from Kota Kinabalu. Now, Chinese New Year 2023 marks the arrival of the Year of the Rabbit, a gentle animal that is regarded as one of the luckiest signs in the Chinese zodiac. Clever, active, and cute. These adorable critters also make the perfect pet companion for the family. They are tame and social animals and can even be trained.
Just like cats and dogs, there are several breeds of rabbits, each with their own endearing characteristics.
它们的特征就是它们的毛发和大小啊，它们大小就是这样子的，就是说，看它前面毛茸茸的，很多毛的，前面就是狮子头兔，啊，然后这个小小的就是侏儒兔，我们名字就是它。 不会长不大，就侏儒兔，小小的。然后这种就是荷兰垂耳兔，荷兰垂耳兔，它耳朵垂下来，它毛是短，然后我们的安哥拉就是比较大种的，它兔子是排名第2，它就是毛发比较长，这样子。还有一种是番西洛了，费斯垂耳，它的特征就是。 它是垂耳，然后它的颜色会可能2色、3色。它有时它耳朵会垂，有时会上，它会控制它耳朵，就是它。
Despite the many breeds, caring for a rabbit is fairly the same across all breeds. Long-haired rabbits, however, require extra grooming and daily brushing, as they will sometimes develop fur mats or large clumps of tangled fur.
它们出现就是最重要就是皮肤病。 你要注意皮肤病，还有他们的饮食这些，不要给它导致他们的拉稀，这样子，就是这2种会比较重要。他们的就是没有去清理它，没有去跟它打理，会导致它皮肤病。还是你带去外面公园跑什么，外面的细菌会感染到它，会都受到它皮肤病。
A common misconception that pet owners have is that the carrot is a rabbit's favorite food. However, Johnny said that rabbit pellets are the ideal food for the animal.
然后他们1个月到6个月不可以吃菜和水果类，因为他们会拉大便。我们都是时常是6个月以上才给它吃菜这些，因为它水分会比较高，它会导致它们拉稀，然后导致它们死亡。
Even though 2023 is the year of the rabbit, Johnny advised pet owners not to be tempted into buying a rabbit as a pet to usher in the celebration, as rabbits can live for a long time and require a long-term commitment.
般兔子的寿命我们都是7、8年，7到8年，最长久的就是到12年，12年都可以，照顾好的话，我们都可以到12年没问题，最短的命都是6、7年这样子。
Despite their popularity, animal welfare groups said that rabbits are among the most neglected pets in the world.
Welcome back. Now, China rang in the Lunar New Year on Sunday as many people are praying for help after pandemic officials reported almost 13,000 new deaths caused by the virus between January 13th and 19th. Queues stretch about 1 kilometer at a temple in Beijing, with thousands of people waiting for their turn to pray for their loved ones.
The past 2 years were tough for many people because of the pandemic. In everyone's lifetime, we will encounter many difficult times. We need to work hard to solve these problems and keep going. I hope we can have a better future and everyone can have a better life.
Meanwhile, 30-year-old student Zhang said she thinks that this is the starting point to recovery.
Everybody's finance or life has been greatly affected by these 3 years of pandemic. Now that this is gone, I think we can say the Spring Festival has epoch-making significance. Having been through the pandemic, now everybody appreciates life even more, and this is the starting point of our hopes for the future. These are my thoughts.
The 13,000 deaths in the past week adds to the nearly 60,000 in the month or so before that. Chinese health experts said the wave of infections across the country had already peaked. The death toll update from China's Center for Disease Control and Prevention comes amid doubts over Beijing's data transparency and remains extremely low by global standards.
Traffic lights and computer screens went dark in Pakistan's capital, Karachi, after the country was hit by a nationwide power cut due to a major breakdown in its national electrical grid. Pakistan's Energy Ministry said the breakdown started at 7:34 a.m. and efforts to revive the system are in the works.
It was reported that power was out in all major cities, including Karachi, Islamabad, Lahore and Peshawar. Although Pakistan has enough power currently to meet the demand, especially during the winter, the country lacks in resources to run its oil and gas powered plants and is heavily in debt. Pakistan's inadequate investments in its infrastructure and power lines have resulted in the national electric grid suffering frequent breakdowns.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. More headlines anytime at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And that's all the time we have for TVS News at 5. I'm Razi Ahmad. Have a good Chinese New Year celebration ahead.